What Bonnie needs to do is stick with Ned step by step, increasing his swimming time. Ned is like an old washing machine. No matter how well you fix it, it will never be as good. Muscles and cardiovascular ability have long since retired, but the only thing stronger is his willpower. The dynamic duo quickly arrived in queue. They prepped for the next phase, with Ned attempting a no-protection challenge. He needed a good plan to tame sharks, aiming at his popularity. Shark expert Luke showed off the latest in signal release devices, attempting to send the sharks to high-end seafood restaurants. He dumped a bucket of smelly fish into the ocean and then, and a moment later, the sharks came leaping from the water like they just spotted a buffet. But due to the signal, sharks lost resistance. Ned still needed a sea navigator. John, dubbed the King of the Bay, was practically the DJ of the sea with his years of sailing experience. Because of the ocean current calculations, they had to be spot on with their estimates. This was not a game of pretend swimming in the pool. The ocean is alive, with ever-changing currents. A small misstep, just a casual swim astray. Getting sucked into a whirlpool is simply ticketing a ride to nowhere. John admired Ned's bravery but warned Bonnie. There are only a few days each year when the wind and current are in sync for crossing the sea, a fleeting moment of beauty. Even if everything lined up, there's less than a 10% chance this challenge will succeed. So brace yourselves. But for Ned, his only job was to keep swimming, and then the team invited their first captain John to modify the navigation boat, like installing a CUD GPS. They did 24 non-stop trial swims, leading to Ned's serious exhaustion. He was practically auditioning for a horror film. Finally, under media scrutiny, Ned stood at Cuba's starting point, without hesitation. Ned dove into the ocean, currently facing a journey of roughly 166 kilometers to reach his ultimate destination. But due to the currents, he'd end up swimming over 170 km. It was estimated he'd take over 52 hours. At first, Ned was swimming like a speedboat. The weather was great too. After 11 hours of swimming, Ned looked as fresh as a daisy. The ocean at night can be ruthless and terrifying. Ned was facing challenges from every direction. The cold ocean water, haunting fears, silent currents, and hostile sea creatures were having a party at Ned's expense. Mentally and physically, from the moment he hit the water, it felt like a torture chamber. After 25 hours of swimming, Ned said his shoulder felt sharply painful during a refueling break. Bonnie quickly called out to grab a paper towel, but when it came to pain, Ned was as stubborn as a mule. After swallowing some pills, Ned put on his glasses and got back into swimming mode. But not long after, he experienced some weird reactions, and just then, the current shifted to sounds like a bad plot twist. The unwell Ned began vomiting incessantly, and it was only at this moment that Bonnie realized he was experiencing an allergic reaction. Doctors had misprescribed medicine, and just like that, Ned's challenge was going down the drain. At this point, Ned had swum 87 km, which is basically halfway done. But with breathing becoming tricky and the currents ready to change course. Whether he liked it or not, this challenge was a bust. Now there was no way Ned could swim against the new current. Ned was hurting, refusing to accept this fate, but with a body out of control, he was just a partner in crime swimming along. After 28 hours of swimming, Ned's challenge was a no-go, but would he back down? No way. On September 23, 2011, Ned hopped back in the water, celebrating his 62nd birthday whilst doing so. With past experience under his belt, Bonnie swapped out for a more seasoned doctor this time. The initial swim was smooth sailing. For the first 12 hours, Ned's pace was like a well-tuned metronome. But merely because the ocean was calm, it doesn't necessarily imply the absence of danger. Diana, what's wrong? I'm perfectly fine. I'm good. The accompanying doctor immediately jumped in, but got stung by jellyfish. To what a stroke of terrible luck that was. Meanwhile, Ned was desperately fighting his way to the boat, as if auditioning for a role in a survival movie. The crew quickly gave him a shot stabilizing his condition, while the accompanying doctor passed out in seconds. They encountered box jellyfish, whose venom is nothing to mess around with. Didn't want to give up, but who knows how many more jellyfish awaited him ahead. Venturing further could be life or death. Each challenge required the whole team to prepare for a long time. To give up mental efforts would be for naught, so Ned and his team held on until dawn. Despite his injuries, Ned kept pushing forward. To avoid another jelly encounter, Bonnie fitted him with a protective hood. As night fell again, Ned began to experience some serious hallucinations. My face. I should have left by now. After treatment, Ned's heartbeat returned, but his consciousness remained a blur. His breathing slowed down, still thinking he was swimming in some crazy documentary. Once Ned stabilized, Bonnie felt guilt creeping in, believing he should have hauled Ned up sooner. But a severely puffy Ned didn't care one bit at all. His belief was straightforward: as long as he was alive, he'd keep trying until he succeeded. To tackle those jellyfish, Ned tested a new swimsuit. Despite it being a challenge to wear, life was on the line. While prepping for the third challenge, they saw in the news that another female contestant was also giving it a go. Though she ultimately failed, it left Ned restless. He sought out John to discuss things. After all, it wasn't the optimal time for a challenge. The weather conditions were a hard no for completing the swim, yet Ned was set on diving right in. And just like that, the courageous 62-year-old Ned once again plunged into the stormy sea. Terrible weather made the navigation boat sway precariously, not to mention the greater challenge of swimming amidst it. Ned practically ghosted that water.